Howdy folks, welcome to Docville. I'm Steve Doc Holliday, and at this moment we're standing in the Longhorn Saloon. I started building this about 1986-87. Since that time, things have really grown in the town of Docville, and interesting how it got that name. There was a friend of ours gave me this gigantic sign, which is the hotel sign. It came from a movie shoot. And at the time it had Cokeville on it because there was a town in the States and there was this movie shot about Cokeville. There was a big kidnapping. So I ended up getting the sign. A friend of mine came here one day. I said, geez, I got this great sign, but I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. And he said, why not call the place Docville? You already got the O and the C. So that's how it worked out. We've added to the town and we are now a film set. We just had a movie here this past week. And in the past we've had different stuff, like we've had Ben Affleck here for the movie Hollywoodland. We've had the sci-fi series 12 Monkeys, a couple episodes of the American Lawmen series, countless B movies, countless commercials, McDonald's, Visine. Just recently there was a big newspaper article done on the specific property of the Docville movie set. It turns out that the property was originally bought in 1808, and in 1829 the family of James Monroe moved here, and they started building the house and lived in it, and from 1829 up to 1848 as a bungalow, and then at that point it then became a two-story building, all brick. So that was kind of interesting to hear some of that historical facts about the property. And then back about 15 years ago, I had an interior designer here, and we completely turned the house, which had been used as a hotel back in the old days. All travelers on this road out front, they would actually stop and lodge here at night. Myself and the interior designer completely transformed the house into a 1800s hotel. In fact, there was actually just a movie filmed in there this week called Bordello. So it really takes on that time period look. Well, the barn, we transformed it into the dance hall. The barn has been an incredible space for film companies. They can set up for their wardrobe, makeup, all of their laptop computers for doing all of their editing and stuff when they're here on site. Second to that, we have a big stage area, and we have tons of charity events here. There's several buildings, actually when you add it up to each building that can be used as a film location, it's like a dozen or more. Some of these buildings all came from tearing down authentic 1800 large buildings. Back in the 80s, I managed to acquire a couple of farms that were going to be demolitioned for whatever, was happening at those properties. So I managed to start bringing the lumber back, and out of that ended up with, mountains and mountains of good, authentic lumber, and I started building a couple 3-log cabins, as well as adding on to the existing buildings that were here. So that's how we've managed to create Docville. I have gone to a lot of other Wild West towns, film sets, and always thought that, geez, I really like what I'm seeing, but I'd like to see more stuff. So I have made it a point to make sure that I got lots of stuff in the buildings to really give you that authentic feeling, that time travel. It's all about time travel. It's all about stepping into a space like the space we're in right now and getting that sense that we have literally gone back in time. And that's the fun aspect of it. Like back in the 80s and that, you could still go to old farm sales that were, they still had all of their pioneer stuff kind of left over. Stuff like wagons, buggies, tables, chairs, like there's a lot of stuff that is authentic to the era, so it totally fits in. Well, on site there is an active quilt shop, which is kind of interesting because quilting was something that was very popular, kind of during the pioneer Wild West era. Quilt sets, how people stayed warm at night. In the past, we kind of have done tours, and it's kind of a random thing, but if people want to book the actual Wild West town for an event, they can contact us at flatblackford@hotmail.com. If you want to use the old telephone at 905-261-3151 and ask for Steve Doc Holliday.